I give you three veterans that need to have a great camp. Three veterans that need to have a great camp. And I'm going to start at number 3 and work my way up. And this wasn't trying to be a hot take, but this is the way I came of it. I think Wyatt Teller, when you look at Wyatt Teller and why I say he has to have a great camp is, to me, the Cleveland Browns are winding down. Him and Joe Bitonio have been a fixture in that offense for such a long period of time. They've been both guys who have been probably your best 2 offensive linemen for a number of years now. They're a big part of what the Cleveland Browns wanted to do under Bill Callahan and why Nick Chubb had so much success. But as you guys getting a little bit older, both of those guys are making money, right? And for me, I say it's Teller because I just think, and I don't have any inside information. I just think that when you look at Bitonio and his relationship with the Browns, it seems to be like they view Bitonio as one of their pillars, one of the guys that's going to be a Ring of Fame type guy, a guy that's going to be a big part of the organization in terms of how they view him. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that the Browns drafted you. And I talked about this with Deshaun Watson and Baker Mayfield. I've talked about this a lot. People say, well, why doesn't Deshaun Watson get some of the same leeway and some of the space to grow and to make some, make mistakes and to grow into his position like Baker Mayfield did? And I said, well, listen, it's different. When you drafted number 1 overall by that team, you're going to be given certain allowances to make everything. You're going to be given every chance to make plays, every chance to make the squad, every chance to show that you're a player that should be here long term. So you're already going to get a little more leeway out of guys like that. You're always going to get more, I guess, more credit, and you're going to get more of the admiration when you are drafted here. And Joe Bitonio is a guy that they drafted here and has played his whole career here. Wyatt Teller, by no means an imagination, the stretch of imagination, is a pillar in the locker room. He's a guy that everyone loves, but Joe Bitonio was not drafted here, right? He's a guy that Dorsey went out and got and turned out to be one of the best moves that they did. And by no means a stretch of imagination. I'm minimizing or trying to marginalize what Wyatt Teller did. I just think that if you're going to come down and pick between 2 guys, I think the organization kind of leans already towards a Joe Bitonio, right? I think Wyatt Teller had a better year than Joe Bitonio last year. But both of them were a little banged up. So I think when you look at it this year, you already have Zach Zenner. You're paying a lot of money up front to your guards. I think that if Wyatt Teller wants to be here, I think he has to have a Pro Bowl type season. I think he has to really kind of almost outplay Joe Bitonio, because I think most of the people will say, if it comes down between Wyatt Teller and Joe Bitonio and you kind of got to let one of them go, I think most people would say that the Browns organization would lean towards Joe Bitonio. I don't know. Let me know down in the comment section, which one of those guys do you think, if one needed to go, which one would be the last man standing? So I think Wyatt Teller needs to be, play a great year, no injuries, and make sure that he solidifies his position moving forward because of his cap number. Let's get on to number 2. The number 2 guy on the list that I think has to have, a really good camp, and a camp that really solidifies him back into the, good graces, is Jack Conklin, another offensive lineman. Conklin has been injury prone. He got the contract extension, missed all of last year. Talked to Mary Kay Cabot. It may look like he may not be ready to go specifically during camp. And when you got a guy like DeJuan Jones, who's chomping at the bit, and the guy that, you talk to guys and scouts around the league feel like that he's going to take another step and possibly be one of the dominant guys for a long time at that position. And the only thing that's kind of holding him back is he was injured last year as well. So, when you take a look at Jack Conklin and you look at what he was able to do and what he's up against, he's playing against a guy who is a younger player, a guy that's a mammoth, large, tremendous upside, and is cheap. So Conklin has to come out and overperform. I think he's behind the 8 ball a little bit because of the simple fact that if you look at what Jack Conklin is up against, he's already injured. And if he doesn't start the season ready to go, DeJuan Jones already has that position at lock. I think the Browns will take a guy of his caliber being a backup because I don't think he's going to be ready to start the season, but that's fine. We looked at what you need to have on your roster. You got to have guys that can step up and make some plays for you, bro. You can't just be out here and hope no one gets injured, right? Jedrick Wills is another guy who is another tackle who was injured. So when you got all these guys injury prone, I'd much rather have Jack Conklin coming off the bench, subbing in for DeJuan Jones or Jed Wills. And even if he's playing out of pretty much out of, position at left tackle, he's a better option than somebody off the street or what they had ending last year. So I think for him, if he wants to continue to be part of the squad, especially because of his cap number, because I think they can get out of the deal with relatively light money if they decide to move on from him after this year. He's going to have a really good camp. He's going to have to come in and do his thing. And if he wants to continue to earn that type of money at right tackle. Let's get to number one overall. And this guy, he came in and he talked a lot. Juan Thornhill, he talked a lot. He talked about people not believing. He talked about, people need to fall in line with the Browns. They feel like they got a great roster. Now, listen, I'll give him credit for one thing. He did stand on the fact that the Browns did go to the playoffs, and they did. I thought he flashed a little bit. Juan Thornhill did in the preseason. I thought he looked really good in the preseason, but he got nicked up a little bit throughout the season. When he got nicked up, he started giving up certain plays. Took a couple bad angles on some certain things. And, he's at a position where when you got Rodney Hickman and then you got D'Anthony Bell, who I both like, and then you already got Delpit back there. Rodney McLeod is back there. He's only here for another year because he's going to retire after this year. But there's a lot of people back there, right? Rodney Hickman plays some meaningful snaps for you. D'Anthony Bell played meaningful snaps for you. So when you're a guy that's a free agent that's making a good chunk of change at safety, and you're supposed to come in and bolster and bring some of that stuff you brought from with you from Kansas City, that winning edge, that championship mindset, playmaking ability, playing in tough situations and producing, we need that, because last year, and I get it, he was a little banged up, but it was kind of little the John Johnson III thing. We was looking for certain plays, didn't get that many plays. You know what I'm saying? Once again, when I did this segment, you know what I'm saying? It ain't all gun. It ain't all about all gumdrops and flowers and all that talk. Like, yeah, we gonna support, but we gotta keep it real, man. We need a little more from you. You know what I'm saying? I talked about Zadarius Smith in one of my last videos. We need a little more, dog. So I think he's one guy that really has to come in and have him a camp. He need to make it be known that no Ronnie Hickman, no D'Anthony Bell, you're not getting my minutes. Y'all gonna be on special teams. I appreciate y'all, but I'm out here to make plays. So I'm looking for. And you got a code number, and you look like. Listen, he looked the part. He got the number 1. He got the visor, bro. You be looking cold. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie to you, fam. You be looking cold. I'm like, dang, he out there looking crisp. Like he a creative player, bro. I'm mad. He looking cool, bro. We need to match that. We need to get them plays where that cool is, man. You see what I'm saying? So them is the 3 guys I'm looking forward to. I think I'm gonna do a series. I think the next video I'm gonna do, I might actually go back and take a look at, and I'm gonna pick three guys that I think is gonna have a breakout year, and then I'm gonna pick three guys that I say you might get cut if you don't stop playing around with me. You know what I'm saying? Stop playing.